Hello and welcome to Book Huddle. I am thrilled to have author Janaisha Bradford on with us today. She wrote Mahogany Goes to Wall Street and Max's Master Plan to Become a Gazillionaire. And this is a wonderful children's series to help kids gain some more financial literacy. So Janaisha, I would just love to have you introduce yourself because tell a little bit about what you do personally in life and then you're growing up. I love the story of what led to writing these books.
So my name is Janaisha Bradford, go by Jay. I'm in the Charlottesville area, grew up here, was born in New Jersey. In my day job, when I'm not writing creative fun books for children, I am a financial advisor. In my job, I help people organize, grow, protect, and transfer their wealth. So that's what I do in my day job. But what led me wanting to write these children's series was back when I was 7 years old. My father passed away in a truck accident, and he left my mom with me and my younger sister, and then my sister who she was pregnant with. Um, and she went through a hard time, and he left her with a nice insurance policy,
Right.
a little over a $500,000,
Oh,
which was
wow.
in the 90s. Yeah, new wealth that she just wasn't accustomed to. We moved to Charlottesville after his passing. And that's where I kind of witnessed my mom really mismanage her funds. And I really believe it was due to not having that financial education early on in
Right.
life, as many of us don't have
Right.
while we're growing. Then I believe she just got some poor financial advice. She was scared. She didn't have that mindset to understand how money works and how it can grow for you when it's invested.
Right.
And in 2008, when the market crashed, she lost everything. We lost our family home. Yeah, and I was in college at the time. I had to pull out and later pay my way through college. And then we just went through some financial hardships that's expected when you're used to a certain lifestyle, and that all disappears. So being the
Right.
oldest, I helped her sort through that and through the foreclosure of our home. And that really at the forefront of my mind and showed
Right.
me that not just the head of the household being financially literate, but everyone, even children. And
Right.
that led me write this book because I'm like, why aren't we learning these things when we're young?
Right.
And when I was studying for my series 7, it felt like a foreign language to me. I was like, am I learning Mandarin or something? It was just it was foreign. And the series 7 test that you have to take for an advisor, I failed the first time. And it kind of really like dampened my spirits, and
Right.
especially the work environment where I was at. It was that kind of competitive environment that you pass the first time. And I failed. And um, on my way to take that Series 7 test again, I was like, I'm gonna pass it. And something hit me. I listened to Beyonce a lot. So I
Right.
was listening to her, and she motivated me. And I'm like, I'm gonna put this in a children's book, and I'm gonna make it fun and
Right.
imaginative and relatable, because sometimes when you're learning about, information that we feel is complex, we only feel like it's complex because it's kind of boring or
Right.
it's explained in this technical way.
That's true. I think somebody I recently had on, we were talking about George Washington actually, and how so often it's written and it's in such a way that it's boring. And bless my sweet husband's heart because he's a historian. And so, but he's not, he finds it fascinating, right? And so many people in the financial world find it fascinating, like your colleagues probably, right? Probably enjoy this, but not everybody does. And it's so important to have an understanding of this. So, like on this one, I interview this gal who tries to make George Washington and history more accessible to people and write it in a more way that it's more consumable for people. So, I feel like here's what you're doing, but for children, so that they start young and have that desire. Because otherwise, if you start off and you're just feeling like, I just never want to deal with this, it's too hard, it's too hard, it's Mandarin to me, like it's just too much. And so then you leave it out there forever. But if you start young, that it's like, you know what? these phrases are not so foreign to me because I've been hearing them from a young age in these picture books. And
Yes.
just starting with familiarity is a big thing. And I
Yeah.
like in the Maximilian, when he becomes the gazillionaire book, he's encouraged to not give up. That encouragement, don't give up when things are hard, that just because you meet a roadblock. And that's inspiring to hear that, you didn't pass on your first time, that you
Yeah.
had roadblocks and you had hard times and you got through them to
Yeah.
success.
And that's what I really wanted to show in my Mahogany and Friends series, that um, outside of just it being relatable and inclusive,
Right.
um, I wanted to show that there are going to be hard times, and it's important to be consistent in it, even through the hard times. I always say, like, flow through your fears. Don't let those fears stop you. Be courageous, and then be confident in yourself, believe in yourself. I feel like, and that's what I talk about in Malcolm's Master Plan to Gazillionaire. Those are
Right.
the things that I really wanted to show throughout the story, as well as, learning about investments. I wanted some other underlying, um, points to be seen. And I think it's important for children to know that also early
Right.
on. And another point that I really made, I wanted to make clear in that book, is that in my community, and more so minority communities, it's hard to feel like, hey, am I going to make it? I can only do these things to
Right.
be successful. I can only be in the entertainment field or be that basketball player, even if
Right.
I don't basketball. And it sets a lot of kids up for kind of failure and disappointment, because there's very few people who get
Right.
drafted to the NBA.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I wanted to kind of show the importance that you can do other things too. And hopefully it inspires kids to want to be in our field as well and make it more diversified.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And see this grow and expand. And I do love that, actually. The Maximilian is just like, all right, the only way to succeed for me as this young Black kid is to grow up and be a basketball player. Oh, shoot. I'm not very good at basketball. But
Yeah.
there are so many opportunities in life and for so many people out there that this doesn't need to limit you, whoever the reader is, right? That you shouldn't feel limited by your circumstance. But the key thing is, like with Maximilian, is you have to be consistent.
Yes.
Otherwise, it won't come. That you teaching this. I love, so like with Mahogany, it's the phrase, where's our hashtag? Fearless and intelligent is the
Yes.
phrase. So then tell me, what's Malcolm's phrase? What is it that his inspiring phrase is?
Confident, consistent, and courageous.
I love
And
three
throughout,
C's.
yep, three C's. And throughout the book, he kind of gets all of them as he's figuring out his plan.
Excellent. So these inspiring phrases, and they're really cute and really relatable. Like for Mahogany, like I love it because I could totally picture my son. Like one of the characters, like she's got her stuffed animals, right? And one of the
Yes.
characters is Barry, and like that she had from when she was a baby. So she had named him Barry. And yeah, my son, his first was a stuffed bear from his grandma from when he was a baby. And so Mr. Barry with a hat on. And so it's just like what kids would say and do and how they would act. And then when she goes into imagination world and under the covers, and the parents are asleep, so it's time to go to imagination land. And I've heard my son say, Mom and Dad are asleep, we can do whatever we want. But like these are so things that kids say and do, that it's definitely relatable and so fun. Such a great way to teach kids these things, like about the terms of Wall Street, so that they're again familiar with them when it comes as they grow up. And that makes it so it's not such a foreign language. And then also Malcolm has such a different experience with just feeling discouraged and then growing in that. So,
Yes.
and do you know how many books that you plan to make this into? That how many are
So,
coming?
so the series right now, I have a total of 6 books that I know. So 4 more,
Right.
but I've been doing a lot. readings and getting feedback from actual children, and
Yes.
they're wanting like, oh, so after Malcolm did this, what else did he do? They want the
Some
continuation
sequels. All
of the
right.
sequels. Where I was thinking of the series was to like introduce Malcolm and Mahogany. Maybe they do other things as other
Right.
stories or other characters that are from other backgrounds, not
So they
just that
have
character.
supporting roles. That could be a really great way that you see them again, but in a supporting role instead of the main character. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's
That
what
could
I
be
was.
really cool. Yeah. Yeah. That because that's so fun. That's fun for me, even as a reader, to see a character come back into a series, even in a supporting role. And I
Yeah.
like that they have like different settings and different ages. Oh, one thing I loved about Malcolm is you added kind of a glossary for the different terms so they could
Yes,
go back and reread the terms and have that glossary available.
it was important for me to do this time because the first time with Mahogany, the words that were like definition words,
Right.
I did in a different font and made them purple.
Yes, that was really good too. I think that's a very good way of writing. Them
Yeah.
to be in purple. Yeah,
So I did that, but I was like, should I just it was kind of hard to do that with Malcolm because it wasn't as many terms. So I
right.
was like, maybe I'll put definitions in the back so if kids ask, they can kind of understand. And I still try to put it in the voice of Malcolm.
Yes, that's great. Because again, making it relatable to kids in a terms that they understand, so it's not feeling so foreign. And I think
Yes.
you could even do both, like in future books, because it's so nice to be able to have something you don't have to flip back through the pages. What was the term? What was the term? Here it is, right here. And I just picture this being such a great thing. I have another video that people can watch. I won't take all of our time right now, where I'm going to just share great activities that teachers or even families could do, that you could have a fun activity to do with this going forward. So I will link that in the description. In the description, we'll definitely have the link to Jay's website where you can buy the book. And the connection that Jay and I actually have is through a mutual friend. And he just loved how he was like, I could buy the book and send it to school straight from her website so that I could help support that. So that's another great way that you can support financial literacy, is you can help send these kid books about these terms to like pick out a school and have it sent there. So I think
Yes, yes. That's important. And we're also a nonprofit now. So we have a nonprofit arm. So
excellent.
Friends is the for-profit part, but we have Mahogany and Friends Foundation where we run that program to donate books. So if you even just donate funds, we'll donate it to a place that we see fit, or you can choose and you can write that off during tax time. So that's a good.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's such a great way to, help build this and help communities where I think he picked the local school because he was telling me, oh, I know actually this local elementary school that could benefit from this. So you can pick where you want it sent, or the foundation can also help. That's awesome. All right, so Jay, I love to have all of my guests share and recommend a favorite children's book, whether it be one that they read to kids now or something they remember growing up. Can you share a favorite book that you can recommend?
Yeah, so a book that I liked growing up, and it was kind of like a series, but it was the Amelia Bedelia series.
I
Uh,
love Amelia Bedelia.
as I love Amelia Bedelia, she kind of got me excited about reading because it was
Right.
fun. It was just silly, just seeing her take everything so literal. Um,
Yes.
kind of made me understand that you have to communicate effectively for people to understand exactly what you want. So it had a great underlying story to it, and to be kind, and have patience with
Yes.
people.
Who
But
don't understand the differences. Yeah.
yeah, so I really loved that series growing up. And I am a kid of the 90s, so the Magic School Bus series was very
Yes.
big. Yes, and that's kind of my inspiration for these books because the Magic School Bus inspired me because they were teaching children about science, but in a fun, imaginative way. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with my Mahogany and Friends series around financial literacy and entrepreneurship.
That is so awesome. And that's one of my favorite things. You saw a need and you want to make it accessible to help kids. And
Yeah.
it has been successful, just like you pointed out with the Magic School Bus. So I wish you great success. I hope that people will take the opportunity to read these books and share with their kids and find ways to help bring more financial literacy to the generations growing up. Thanks, Jay.
Yes, and I know a lot about Malcolm. That's because that's the latest book.
Yes. Yes, I will definitely have that one up as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I hope you're aware you're looking at the next gazillionaire. Wow. Mama, I made it. Let's be clear, you just need a plan, no need to fear.